Alright gang, today I have the top 3 best close range weapons you need to be rocking in Resurgence exclusively. These are going to be picks that I'm going to rock in ranked and or unranked. All based on feel, like how I can move around the map, how they go from target to target, TTK, everything like that. Not necessarily based on what everyone else is running. This is all like feel preference on what I prefer. The first two we have here would be the AMR9, and I named it the Year, but it's the Striker 9. On our Striker 9, we got the X10 Black Kite muzzle, the Striker Elite long barrel, the DR6 hand stop, the 50 round drum with the Lockman MK2 stock. This gun's super duper solid. It also doubles up as a good sniper support gun. Recoil is pretty minimal with this gun. It adds a lot of visual recoil, but it's not super uncontrollable. And here's what I mean. You notice this is almost the most perfect vertical recoil we've had in this game. All you have to do is pull that joystick down and give yourself like a little bit of a left to right stray for your rotational aim assist. And this thing absolutely fries. Obviously, I'm not beaming nerds like super far out with it, but it's not horrible. I mean, those shots we just put on that target really aren't that crazy. But you get what I'm saying. Not extremely accurate, but the feel of this gun is super solid, especially on Fortune's Keep. When you are sliding around, you can absolutely put people away, because this thing really, once you get your like rotational aim assist down, locks. Like, the hipfire is not horrible with it. It's not the greatest hipfire I've ever used, but for sure this is something I would add to the arsenal. 100%. If you like to play a little bit slower, this is your gun, because you can still be evasive, but you can still reach out and touch an enemy if needed. The next SMG I had paired with this one was the AMR9. This is probably my favorite. It's probably my go-to. The Tectonic Micro Integral Suppressors for our barrel. We have the MK3 Reflector, the Denmo D50 Buffer Tube for our stock, Seiken ZZ Grip, and then the 50 round mag. This gun's weird. We've covered this recoil pattern quite a bunch on this channel because it's extremely unique. So when we shoot this, that's an extremely heavy horizontal recoil. But the biggest thing we notice, the first shot, like if this is our first shot, there's our second, our third, and then this is really where the spray begins. This gun kicks up and then it sprays. So it's really important when you're using this gun, that initial burst, if you're not on top of it, you're going to see that right there where you're way above that target's head before you realize it. So you really need to focus on getting the joystick down and then hitting those rotational shots as you get going so you can nail your targets, because that initial burst on this gun is absolutely outrageous, but it's worth it. The TTK, the mobility, this gun is absolutely cracked. If you are definitely like a faster player, if you're a fast moving player, you're a better player, you're confident in your shot, this is a gun I would be running, because this is what I'm running 90% of the time when I'm playing Resurgence. Ranked or unranked, this is what I'm running. Even at range, for it to have that aggressive a recoil, that's some pretty solid shots that far. But yeah, no, this thing gets sticky. Once you get used to it, I feel like this thing has some pretty sticky aim. It's just that initial burst that throws people off. But you get that initial burst under wraps and you're absolutely frying out, undoubtedly. We got one more gun here to cover. It's going to be the WSP9. I call it my meta Uzi. So I run the WSP Infiltrator integrated barrel suppressor. The skeletal vertical underbarrel, 9mm high grain rounds, 40 round mag with a Marauder grip. This thing's crazy. Definitely has a range factor to it and a slower fire rate. Has insane visual recoil, but the actual recoil of the gun is really nothing. We didn't even make it up a halfway up the board, which is crazy to think about. For 40 shots, they're all already in this area. Heavy to the left, then to the right, so we counter that with our left and right movement when we shoot, and then you'll realize this thing really doesn't bounce that much. It's just that visual recoil that throws people off. You could throw a red dot sight on this if you wanted to, maybe get rid of the Marauder stock on the back and throw on a red dot, but for me personally, I'm getting up in people's faces with this gun because up close that TTK is disgusting. The hip fire is not too crazy on it. Obviously at mid-range it's not going to be insane, but like this close target right here, absolutely beaming people. I'd love to use this as a hip fire first type of gun. I recommend you hip fire all your gunfights, but this one in particular, if I'm pulling up to the function at Spaghetti Junction, dog, I'm gonna hit that hip fire then ADS, and usually that's gonna help me get those kills. But the shots are on with this thing. Super accurate, super helpful, especially if you like to carry a sniper. I would keep this in the back pocket as well. Listen, if you're new to the channel, enjoy the content. If you learned anything, if you enjoyed any of these classes, man, hit the sub button, press that like button. I catch you tomorrow for another heater. Let's get it, gang.